Hi, I hope you're well and having a good week so far. I'm Miranda, the founder of Marketing for Health Practitioners. In today's video, I'm going to focus on two elements that are in the foundations component of the Inquiry Enhancer model. So that is the model that I took you through last week. So I sometimes get comments from people, practitioners, about why are we focusing on the foundations? It doesn't seem to be getting me in front of any new potential patients. I seem to be investing time in what seems to not be able to drive inquiries and interest and new patients through. And yeah, the foundation work in itself won't. And if you just went, nah, I'm not going to bother about the foundations and just jump to the promotions area, so implementing some advertising activities, yeah, sure. Yep, sure, they will work to a certain extent, probably, but they're not going to be nearly as effective if you don't do that foundation work. And I often compare it to, say, as a practitioner, if you have a new patient walk in, and you just go, right, we're just going to put you on this treatment program. Yep, you'll be fine. Yep, give it a go. Because you actually have no idea what treatment program is going to be right for them. Instead of in that initial appointment phase where you spend lots of time with them, really understanding what's important to them, understand their goals, understand what they would ideally like to achieve and the best outcome for them. And so only by doing that you can put a really tailored treatment plan together that's going to give them the best possible chance of getting their ideal outcome. And so that's exactly the same with the foundation work. So I'll just share my screen. So for those of you that watched the training last week, you would have seen this model, which is a model I developed called the Inquiry Enhancer model. And basically, this is the model that I use when I'm working with practices. So this is the model that I use to basically do a bit of an audit where we go through together, me and the practice owner, and identify your gaps, basically your marketing gaps. And once we fill those gaps and make sure that everything in the blue is working really well, then that is really the key to then your marketing being super successful, and you start to see that increase in interest and inquiry, and then new patients flowing after that. But when one of these elements is out, it means that overall your marketing just isn't going to be as effective as it could be. So when we think about that foundation work, you can see, once again, that without doing that foundation work, you're just not going to have as an effective marketing plan. So your marketing plan consists predominantly of activities that are going to get you in front of ideal patients and then help retain those patients once they're seeing you as their practitioner. So if you don't know, if you don't have a clear understanding of your vision and mission and goals, or who you want to be in the marketplace, and who your ideal patients and referrers are, when you're putting a marketing plan together, you just don't know where you're going. The marketing plan is all about laying out steps to get you towards your ultimate goal. And that's why we tend to put 12-month marketing plans together, because we go, right, today we're here, in 12 months time we want to be there, so let's put a marketing plan together to allow you step by step to achieve your 12-month goal. It's being very slow today. As I mentioned, so today we're going to focus on what it means to articulate your vision and mission, and why these two things play a really important role in your overall marketing success and driving that prospective patient interest that then flows on to new patient appointments. So starting with your vision. So your vision is really big picture. So in an ideal world, what would you like the future to look like? So it's not something that you can achieve by yourself, but it's often been a catalyst that has led you on to do what you do. So could be the thing as a child or teenager, or when you're starting to go, oh, I would love to see a future that looked like this. And then you chose your career, you chose the area of health that you went into to take steps towards trying to achieve your dream for the future and the world. So yeah, it's the future world that you want to see. It's very creative and ambitious and aspirational and inspirational, and therefore obviously something that you can't achieve just by yourself in one lifetime. So visions are driven by passion and dreams, and then they are reflected through real efforts to create real results. And then that real effort comes into your mission, and then actually putting a plan in place. So a plan in place in terms of what can you do on a day-to-day basis to take positive steps towards achieving that ideal future place. And helps provide a really clear sense of purpose, because that is really the underlying driving factor when it comes to what you do every day. And when, you can sometimes get caught up and business becomes really busy, and especially when you're a practice owner, suddenly you're doing all these things that aren't clinical anymore, and it can take you away from the things that you really love to do, and you have to wear so many hats, and it's all quite stressful. But having a vision really gives you a sense of clarity around why you did this in the first place. Why do you get up every day and do what you do? So sometimes it's just nice to reflect on that and remind yourself what the bigger picture is and what you're trying to achieve. So then when it comes to your mission is really the steps that you can take as an individual practitioner, as a practice owner, that you can do on a day-to-day basis to take steps towards achieving that ultimate vision. So it's how you're going to take steps towards achieving your vision, which we just said. And it's intended to provide direction and focus for you and your practice. So in business, things can get crazy, and there's so many opportunities and so many things that you constantly think you should be doing, and you can never keep on top of everything. But sometimes it's just nice to sit down and just refer back to your vision and your mission and your ultimate business goals, and just go through, write down the list of all the crazy amount of things that you think you should be doing, and go through and actually, these things over here don't really align to my vision and mission. So why don't I just put them to the side? I might do them sometime, but if I'm feeling overwhelmed, why don't we just go through everything that I'm meant to be doing and just make sure that I'm just focusing on and prioritizing the activities that are going to have the biggest impact on me and my practice achieving my vision and mission. So yeah, it's basically what you want to accomplish on a smaller time frame. So that can be, this month, 6 months, 12 months time. And yep, as I said, serve as a filter to separate what is important and what isn't, which sometimes can be difficult because you tend to focus on the things that seem more urgent rather than focusing on the things that are more important. And urgent, obviously, people's definition of urgent, what urgent is to one person is not to another, and it's always a challenge trying to balance, when you're in business, trying to balance what you believe is urgent or important and what others believe is urgent and important. So I will just show you some examples. Here we go. So here are a few examples of visions and missions of some practitioners. So firstly, a couple of psychologists that I've worked with over the years. So one psychologist's vision is a world where everyone is accepted, embraced for who they are. And their mission relating to that is, so do they do on a day-to-day basis to try and achieve that vision is they embrace children, adolescents and adults who they are, for who they are, and to help them have the most amazing life, to provide a safe therapeutic environment of complete acceptance where patients can receive help from a diverse range of evidence-based mental health practitioners, and to provide highly collaborative and inclusive mental health services with family members playing an equal role in their child's well-being, mental well-being. And then another psychologist, so their vision is a world where there is emotional harmony for individuals, couples and families. And their mission is to use a balance between reflection, insight and skills to help individuals, couples and families to understand themselves and each other more, to communicate in ways that are more helpful and to live a more emotionally harmonious life. So these are, both are psychologists, probably very similar qualifications, and from the surface might think, oh, they probably do pretty similar things and work with similar people, but you can see that their vision and their mission is actually quite different. So what's driving them and what their ultimate goal is differs depending on obviously who they are and what's most important to them. So next, just another example of a nutritionist. So their vision is healthy eating and healthy relationships with food in their body for all Australians. And how are they going to take positive steps towards that? Well, their mission is to help people stop dieting, help them discover the pleasure in eating, and to nurture a healthy relationship with food in their body. And then lastly, a fertility specialist. So his vision is for all Australians to be able to fulfill their dream of having a family. And how does he take steps by steps each day to hopefully achieve that vision one day? Is to be the leading fertility specialist in Victoria, to assist all Victorians who dream of having a family, whether they're in a heterosexual same-sex relationship or as a single woman, to fulfill their dream by providing the highest quality evidence-based reproductive medicine technologies. So you can see how they're really, actually mapping these out and writing these down are actually really helpful in terms of really providing clarity about what future you'd like to see and what can you do every day to stay focused on taking steps towards that. If you have already a vision and mission or missions, it would be great to see what they are. And if you haven't, then I would really recommend you just putting 20 minutes aside and just really having a think about what your vision is. And you probably subconsciously, you know what it is, but you may not have just taken the time to really think about it and write it down. And then also think about your mission as well. So what do you do every day to take steps towards that vision? And so I would love to see your visions and missions. So if you feel comfortable, it'd be great for you to share them and post them in the comments below. And it also really helps if people are struggling a bit to think of theirs, to see other people's. It just helps them brainstorm a bit and get more clarity around what their vision and mission is. So I hope you found today's training valuable. And I'll be doing a few trainings this week. So just covering off all those elements in the foundation component of the inquiry enhanced model. Okay, take care.